Welcome to Delphi Labs. My name is Paweł Głowacki and this is the part 2 of DataSnap multi-tier DataSnap app that is made of multiple parts. In the first part we have built a simple web broker dynamic application that will generate some jQuery mobile boilerplate code. In the second part we have modified our web application so it generates some more sophisticated jQuery mobile code, so we are ready to add some dynamic content to our application. So let me very quickly show you where we are. So in our application, I'm going to open it in the browser. We have a simple jQuery mobile code, so this is the master page that has just two detail pages. One is just about page, is sample, and there is an also customer page. So this is a customer page, is supposed to display a dynamic content based on database records from a interbase sample employee database, and this is where we are going to build a dynamic list of customers. So the next step here is to add the support, so we can see data coming from the employees database. So we are going to this is my interbase employee sample database, and we want to display information from customer table with names of different customers. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to rename my client application to something better. So I'm going to have a web broker client, so that's going to be name of my client application, and I'm going to add to this project group a new standalone DataSnap server application, which is going to be a VCL Forms application. I'm going to keep TCP/IP, but I don't need any sample methods. I'm going to see if the port 211 is open, and this is important. I want to make sure that I have my server methods class inherited from TDS server module class. Okay, I'm going to close this guy, and I'm going to save it inside my DataSnap labs, and this is going to be my jQuery mobile client. So main form is going to be my form server. I'm going to keep the default names for the server methods unit and the server container unit, and this is going to be my customer data server application. The project group will be scalable DataSnap system. So okay, so now I have just an empty application. I'm going to change the caption to form server, and inside of my server methods unit, this is a place, so because I have derived my class from TDS server module, it is indirectly derived from TData module, so I can use it as a convenient place to put some data access components. So for this I'm going to take my IB employee node from Data Explorer, drag it to the form, so it will add an SQL connection. So I need to make sure that I actually can connect to this database. And now what I want to have is to have a list of customers ordered by last name. So I have this customer, so these are my customers, so I can actually now add to this form, pressing F6, I can add a T-SQL query component where I can actually return a list of customers ordered by last name, by the customer name. So I need to connect this query component, and also before I specify the SQL statement, I want to make sure that I don't forget to add a dataset provider. So again, I'm going to use the T dataset ID insight to add T dataset provider component. So this is a special component, so I'm going to call it in a special way DSP customers, so I can refer to this customer in code. So this is going to be my query SQL Q customers, and this dataset provider has to be connected to my dataset, which is my customers. Okay, so I need to specify a SQL statement. I can do it actually very easily using a SQL window. So this is a window that I can use to dynamically build some queries. I'm going to take this guy, and this will actually generate for me a select star from customer, but I want to order by this customer name. So instead of using star, I'm going to add all the fields one by one to my statement. So this is now added, and I can also, I'm running in a little very low, I want to do it like descending. So in this way I should see that this is my final statement. So I select all the fields from my customer, and also this is ordered by a customer field in a descendant order. I'm going to copy the whole statement, Ctrl C. I'm going to close this window, I don't need it anymore, and I'm going to enter this statement into my string list editor. Okay, so I should be able to actually open this statement, so it can be activated so it looks like it's a correct statement. Okay, so my server is now ready. I'm going to run it because it has to be running before I will be able to actually connect to it and build client. I'm going to minimize it and move to the client. So now I'm in the client, and I want to add to my data module that is actually generating dynamic data components to connect to my server. I'm going to move to this guy, and I'm going to add a SQL connection. So this is I'm going to add a T-SQL connection. So this is going to be my connection to my server. So the SQL connection, the driver has to be a data snap, and it's TCP/IP port 211, all the default values. So I don't need to have a login prompt, and I should be able to connect at design time to it. So I don't want to generate any proxies because I want to use components. So there is a special component, TDS provider connection, that can be used to directly connect to a data snap server like this that has a dataset providers. So this is my data set provider connection. I need to connect it to my SQL connection, and what I also need is to specify the server class name. So that's quite important. So my class name is tservermethods2. I need to copy this, move to my main unit, and copy this class here. Okay, so now if I click on connected, I should be able to connect. Okay, and now I need to add a client dataset. So I'm going to press again F6 and T client dataset. So this is my dataset where I'm going to retrieve data from the server. I'm going to programmatically iterate through this client dataset to display data. So this client dataset has to be connected to remote server, which is my provider connection, and here I should be also able to see my DSP customer. So this is the name of the provider on the server. So notice that in this architecture I could have had multiple providers on the server and multiple client datasets. So I could share just one SQL connection and one DS provider connection and have multiple client datasets in general. But I don't want to have it like this, so I have my client dataset, which is a CDS customer. Maybe to make it slightly smaller, just customer is fine. So if everything is fine, I should be able to actually connect. So now I have a data design time. To simplify my code, I'm going to add a persistent fields to my client dataset. So I double click on a client dataset, said add all fields, and now inside my data module I have one component representing one field, so that's going to make my life easier, so I can have more readable code later. Okay, so this was all the steps necessary to add data access to my customer list. So in the next part of this demonstration, I'm going to actually implement the get customer list method and get customer pages method in order to generate dynamic code from the underlying data snap server.